As my beard gets bigger, so does my enthusiasm for films that are kind of quirky and weird. And I feel like it doesn't get quirkier or weirder when we are talking about Yorgos Lanthimos and his newest installment, Bugonia. Now, right off the bat, you're probably asking yourself, why are you talking about Bugonia now, after the Oscars and after 2025, and why is it that you're late to the party? Well, let me clarify something. I never got to see this movie in theaters. I honestly was kind of curious after seeing the trailer, but then I was like, maybe not, I don't know. Listen, Yorgos has been pretty much one out of the two movies that he previously made, that being Kind of Kindness and Poor Things. One of those two movies were fantastic. And obviously the one that's fantastic is Poor Things, obviously. And I already understand his style of film, which is kind of quirky and weird, and I expected it to be quirky and weird as well in this film. So for me, right off the bat, I was like, okay, let's see where this goes. And honestly, in the end of it, I actually was quite surprised. And one of those surprising factors that I would say is definitely the fact that cinematography is always elevated when he's directing. You know, Yorgos is very keen on the visuals and focusing on certain subjects. I mean, this guy uses the rules of three, like literally to the T. You know, we're talking almost, you know, to the level that we would see, you know, in a more artistic film. You know, I would say that his artistic style is very prevalent. So if you see the cinematography in this movie, it's just crispy, buttery smooth. I believe I would consider the cinematography in this film to be cinematic butter, and I don't even know if it exists, but this is what I think it looks like. Like, this is what I think cinematic butter looks like. That's what I'll say. That's what I think cinematic butter is. But whatever that is, that's what I think they were bathing in when they were actually making this movie, because it's absolutely gorgeous. And we also got to give Yorgos his props on his casting. Now, obviously, 3 for 3 here, the 3 films that he's done lately, he has included Emma Stone. She's fantastic in this film, really does her role the way she's supposed to. You hear me say this a lot, you know, the fact that actors are doing the role that they do, because it's true. She was designed to be a character that has to be 100% believable for it to work, and she did flawlessly. Then you have Jesse Plemons, who plays this sort of conspiracy theorist that says, no, you know, it's crazy, what's going on is absolutely insane, and, you know, you want to believe him, you expect to, you know, think, because it's a Yorgos Lanthimos movie, you kind of give him a little bit of room of credibility because you expect the story to be wild. So obviously, as I was watching this movie, I was like, maybe he's onto something. Even though normally I would say no. But nonetheless, Jesse Plemons plays the conspiracy theorist beautifully. So props to him. Aidan Delbus. I've never heard of this guy before, and he did fantastically well in this film, playing this like brother who's trying to, you know, like sort of accept but is a little shy, or is trying to, you know, understand why he has to go through all of this, you know, for some reason. Again, very new to me. He's a very new actor to me. I don't know if this is his first role, but I think he did absolutely great. Then obviously, as like the pop-up of this movie that I had no idea was in this movie, Alicia Silverstone. Yeah, like, how long has it been since I've seen her in anything? I know that she's been doing like little movies here and there, but let's be honest, if she is not playing Batgirl again, I'm kidding. But who knows? Maybe we get a Batgirl movie with her, you know, as an older Batgirl. That is just a far-off wish, and sort of like, you know, that is a wilder story than whatever Yorgos Lanthimos is giving us. So, mindfully. But she does a great job. She shows up in like literally 30, 45 seconds of this movie, and that's it. Like, she probably has like one line the entire movie, but nonetheless, she does pop up. absolutely awesome to see her again. Now, Yorgos also, once again, wants to implement a symphony of sorts in his movies. And I mean, honestly, like, there are moments in the movie where you're like, ba-ba-da, like, there's like this really loud music for some weird reason. It's there. I don't know if the music that he plays is supposed to make us connect with whatever the character is thinking, but whatever it is, it was really loud, and I was like, holy cow, this is okay, interesting. And like, obviously, like, we were discussing after watching the movie, I was discussing with my dad. I was like, hey, like, are like, is that right? And he was like, yeah, like, this movie does seem to have like an audio thing where it's like really loud, the music, and you can barely hear what people are saying. But I'm saying, like, this is like from a few parts, not the whole movie. This is not Tenet, okay? Just wanted to reiterate. If you've watched Tenet, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is not a Tenet situation. This is a here and there, you have like little dots, but nonetheless. But musically speaking, the symphonic orchestra, you know, soundtrack in the background was really well played and beautiful, but just like really awkward at times, depending on where it was placed. But nonetheless, great job. Now, where does my issues lie with this movie? As weird as it may seem, this movie is just a little under 2 hours. And I feel like this movie, in certain cases, in certain moments, could be, like, you could have shaved at least maybe 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes out of this story. But since they're kind of like building to it and trying to see if we could like connect the dots with the characters, I understand why there was that length, but I feel like you could shave off like maybe 10 or 15 minutes from this movie and it would have been just as good, you know, and it wouldn't have like surpassed that. But I feel like I understand where Yorgos was going with this movie and wanting us to like feel kind of betrayed by the character or have sort of been surprised by the ending and finding out that she is actually an alien, and the fact that this conspiracy theorist was correct is kind of boggling and kind of mind-boggling. I get where the story was leading to, but I get it. Like it was structured in a way to get to that point, but I wish that there was more story happening. Like, there are moments in this movie where I'm like, they're just sticking with this shot for a little too long, you know? And another thing as well, another story element that I feel like was entirely either an acting choice or direction by Yorgos to Emma Stone, but like, she is like dead calm in this movie. Like, I would have expected her to be a lot more like sporadic and like, get me out of here, like, you know, screaming and rattling. No. She deals with this entire situation with utter calmness, which I feel like is sort of a telltale sign that, okay, sure, like, I know that they're not going to kill me, but still I want to know what's going on. But it's really interesting and kind of like off-putting when you see that play out in the movie. Like, oh, she's super calm. Like, there's this really calm and collectedness to her, and not like this really sporadic, like angry, wanting to get out, which was very surprising story-wise in this film. Now, before this movie came out, and this is sort of like wrapping things up for me, when this movie came out, and I saw the trailer, and I saw like what they were trying to tell in the movie, deep down in my mind, I thought, you know what, maybe this is like Yorgos's sort of like fourth movie that he was gonna implement in Kinds of Kindness. Like, deep down, I was looking at this and I was like, this could have easily have been one of those short stories in Kinds of Kindness that he said, you know what, we have enough story here to make this into a full film. And I feel like that's what happened. You know, he did like 4 films for Kinds of Kindness. He chose 3, edited it down, and put into Kinds of Kindness, which ends up being a movie with 3 other movies inside it. but in this case ends up giving us a whole story here. So deep down, I feel like the way that this movie was structured could have fit easily within Kinds of Kindness without any sort of like extension or whatever. So I feel like in that case, it did really well. It would have been at least really well for them to have made it a little bit shorter. But as it stands, it is a really solid film. And all in all, I think this movie does deliver on the crazy, wacky, sort of unhinged style that Yorgos is. I would say it's a lot more subdued compared to, say, Kinds of Kindness or even Poor Things, which I would say is a work of art. Like, Poor Things is literally considered a work of art that you could like literally screenshot a moment from that movie and just put it up in the Louvre because it's really well made. So I think in part they succeeded in telling the story. Do I think it's the best of Yorgos Lanthimos? No, it is not Yorgos's best. But even for a basic film, I still think they did great. I still think they did a great job with it. You know, I think it's solid if you're looking for a movie that's gonna keep you, you know, entertained and wanting to like look at little aspects and little details throughout the film. I feel like this isn't where you're gonna find it. More in Poor Things than this. This is more of a straightforward, linear, focused film on finding out like what's the big mystery. So yeah, not Yorgos's best film, but definitely a good film nonetheless. But then again, that is just my opinion, and I want to hear from you. What do you think? Did you watch Bugonia? Do you think Bugonia is a good movie? Do you think that it deserved more love at the Oscars? Or do you think that just for it being nominated, it's already an achievement in and of itself? I don't know. I want to hear from you in the comments below. And while you're down there, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell to be notified when new videos go live on this channel. And thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video.
Scrolling through YouTube, same old routine, then bam, movie savant, what a scene. Trivia bombshells dropping knowledge like rain. Forget the dishes, gotta watch it again. Movie buffs unite, savants to place. Subscribe and hit the bell, don't leave a trace. Next level knowledge keeps you in the loop. Savants got the scoop, ain't nothing to recoup.